this is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
With no fees or minimums on checking accounts, it's no wonder the Capital One bank guy is so passionate about banking with Capital One. If he were here, he wouldn't just tell you about no fees or minimums. He'd also talk about how most Capital One cafes are open 7 days a week to assist with your banking needs. Yep, even on weekends. It's pretty much all he talks about, in a good way. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank. Capital One, N.A., member FDIC.
Tax season has arrived, and doing taxes without the right help can feel overwhelming. Intuit TurboTax is here now to guide you through it with confidence. Match with a TurboTax full-service expert who handles everything for you from start to finish. Your dedicated expert checks every single deduction and credit to help you get the best possible outcome so you can feel confident you're getting every dollar you deserve. And the best part? You'll see real-time updates on your expert's progress right on your phone while you live your life. Plus, you get unlimited expert help at no extra cost, even on nights and weekends during tax season. Visit TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax full-service experts. Real-time updates only on iOS mobile app.
Brought to you by the reinvented 2012 Camry. It's ready. Are you? Welcome to Stuff You Should Know from HowStuffWorks.com.
Support for this show comes from Public, the investing platform for those who take it seriously. On Public, you can build a multi-asset portfolio of stocks, bonds, options, crypto, and now generated assets, which allow you to turn any idea into an investable index with AI. It all starts with your prompt, from renewable energy companies with high free cash flow to semiconductor suppliers growing revenue over 20% year over year. You can literally type any prompt and put the AI to work. It screens thousands of stocks, buys one-of-a-kind index, and lets you backtest it against the S&P 500. Then you can invest in a few clicks. Generated assets are like ETFs with infinite possibilities, completely customizable and based on your thesis, not someone else's. Go to public.com/SYSK and earn an uncapped 1% bonus when you transfer your portfolio. That's public.com/SYSK. Paid for by Public Investing. Brokerage services by Open to the Public Investing, Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services by Public Advisors, LLC, SEC registered advisor. Generated Assets is an interactive analysis tool. Output is for informational purposes only and is not an investment recommendation or advice. Complete disclosures available at public.com/disclosures.
On eBay, every find has a story. Like if you're looking for a vintage band tee, not just a tee, the band tee from the last show your favorite band ever played. You wore it everywhere. Then your girlfriend started wearing it, which was cute, until she dumped you and took it with her, which was not so cute.
Yeah, well, anyway, now you're on eBay. And there it is. Same tee from the same tour. Still living in your memory, rent-free forever.
See, the things you love have a way of finding their way back to you. But eBay isn't just for getting whatever your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend stole back, right?
No, it's also for that rare championship foul ball you caught, then heroically gave to the kid next to you. And where else are you going to find your first car? The one you wish you'd never sold. But now, finally get the chance to take it back home. For good this time.
So shop eBay for millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Hey, and welcome to the podcast. I'm Josh Clark. There's Charles W. Chuck Bryant.
And I'm Charles W. Chuck Bryant.
And I'm Josh Clark. And that makes this Stuff You Should Know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hope so.
This is our podcast. We've been doing it for a while. And,
Are you welcoming new listeners?
Yeah, here's another one.
Okay.
All right. And actually, I'm pretty excited about this one. I've been wanting to do this one for a while.
You've been bugging me. Epigenetics, Chuck.
Let's
do it. Let's do it.
The cutting edge of research of our understanding of life. Not just human, of all life.
My mind was blown.
It's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, real big deal.
So, Chuck, you've heard of the genetic revolution. Charles Darwin, he had a long beard. He loved sea turtles, that kind of thing. He used to vacation in the Galapagos, right?
Uh-huh.
He wrote On the Origin of the Species, and it was a pretty groundbreaking book.
I would say so.
It's basically what he came up with was we are driven by our genes, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have genetic code in our DNA, and that makes us redheaded. It makes us timid. It makes us courageous.
Prone to cancer.
Right, exactly. And it makes us thick-tongued, all right?
Sometimes.
Yeah. And we are slaves to these genes, right?
Uh-huh.
There's nothing we can do to alter them. We get them from our parents.
Yeah.
But, you know, if we find out that over time, being thick-tongued is, say, advantageous to human survival, we're all going to talk like me. But millions of years from now.
Yeah.
At least hundreds of thousands.
Makes for good podcasting.
It definitely does. And I just look for it in the future.
Yes.
Okay, when we're all running around with robot bodies.
Right.
There was another guy, and actually Darwin, just to show off once, came across a type of orchid, right? The moon orchid, I believe is what it's called.
Okay.
And it had a very, very deep, I guess, pistil or stamen. I can never keep those things apart. And the nectar was down in there. And he looked at that flower and said, you know what? There is an organism out there, probably a flying organism, that it has a proboscis that fits perfectly into that flower.
Was it the hummingbird?
It was a hawk moth.
Ah.
And sure enough, a few years later, or some point in time later, they discovered the hawk moth, and it was pretty much literally made to fit, right?
Wow.
But there's another guy named Jean-Baptiste Lamarck, who I know you've heard of as well, right?
All his Lamarckian stuff?
Right. He was about 60 to 80. He was working about 60 or so years before Darwin.
Right.
He had his own ideas based on giraffes, right?
Yes. He said that giraffes' necks grew to reach the food, but it was just over the course of a few generations, right?
Right. And that's kind of flies in the face of Darwin. Right?
Yeah, sure.
Who said it takes hundreds of thousands of years. With this stuff called epigenetics that we're about to talk about today, suddenly people are starting to go back and look at Lamarck, who was kind of dismissed as a quack.
Yeah.
And say, you know what, Lamarck may have been right in this one.
Yeah. Prepare for your minds to be melted, is all I have to say.
Let's talk about epigenetics, Chuck.
Okay.
And go.
Josh, let's first talk about the genome.
Right.
I heard a computer reference analogy that I thought was pretty spot on. Mm-hmm. If you think of the genome as computer hardware, then the epigenome would be the software that tells the computer what to do and when to do it. But in this case, the epigenome tells your cells what to do, what kind of cells to be, when to activate or deactivate.
Mm-hmm. So, like, I guess every cell, or the DNA in every cell in the human body has the exact same DNA.
Yes.
You have like half of your mother's and half of your father's, and it comes together and gives you your DNA, right?
Right.
And if you look at the DNA in every cell, from the kind of cell that makes up your fingernail, what would that be? A keratinocyte?
Sure.
Okay. To a sperm cell, right? Very, very specialized type of cell.
Yeah.
They all have the same DNA.
Uh-huh.
They have the same genes in there. But what makes them different, and what makes a keratinocyte and a sperm cell, those things, are the tags on those genes. So some are turned off, some are turned on, and in a specific combination, you have either a keratinocyte or a sperm cell or a neuron or a cell that makes up your eyeball.
Right.
All of that stuff.
Yeah. So it's essentially a chemical tag that literally changes the physical structure of your genome.
Right.
So it'll bind tightly, let's say, to an inactive gene and make it unreadable, or it'll stretch out an active gene and make it really accessible.
Right.
Physically changing it.
And epigenetics means above the genome, because these tags, they're called methyl tags, which is what, 1 hydrogen and 2 carbon?
Carbon and hydrogen bundles, yeah.
Okay, so it's
That's
a really
methyl group, yeah.
It's a really simple compound. But they attach to the gene at a place where other proteins or enzymes normally would attach to activate it.
Yeah.
So basically what they do is block a gene from being activated, and they can silence them.
Yeah, so it's like a light switch. Literally, you can turn off some genes and turn off others.
Right. And the honeybee, actually, is a pretty good demonstration of this. Did you read about honeybees?
No.
Okay, so you've got a worker bee, right?
Uh-huh.
Which is a sterile, kind of mindless, dumb bee that just does what it's supposed to do.
No offense to any worker bees out there.
Right, agreed. Hey, I'm all down with Mayday.
Yeah.
All right. And with a queen bee, you have this, first of all, she can reproduce.
Uh-huh.
She goes and kills other rival queens.
Right.
She does kind of all sorts of other stuff that a worker bee isn't capable of doing.
Uh-huh.
And what they found was a queen bee larvae are raised in this royal jelly, right?
Right.
Which worker bees secrete from their heads.
Uh-huh.
It's this nutrient-rich jelly. So the larva grows in it, and what they found, it sounds kind of good, doesn't it?
It does.
Just because of the jelly part.
Yeah, of course.
What they found was that the royal jelly it adds a methyl tag to the queen bee larva's DNMT3 gene.
Okay.
And this gene is like literally the on-off switch. If this gene is on, it goes to the default worker bee, right?
Right.
If it's off, then all the genes that make a queen bee are able to be turned on.
Crazy.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So epigenetics happens in bees as well.
Yeah.
And mice.
Yes, they've done a lot of studies with mice, obviously, and the agouti gene in these mice. Mm-hmm. And they experiment with these mice affecting, basically turning on and off the epigenetic switch. So an unmethylated gene would affect the mouse's size and weight and
Right.
then coat color.
Right. It makes them real fat and like yellow.
Yeah, instead
It's
of
just
skinny
horrid.
and brown.
Have you seen one of these things?
Yeah.
They're huge.
Yeah.
They should all be named Wilbur.
The cool thing is, though, they showed the difference between the skinny brown one and the fat yellow one. But then they also did experiments where they did half and half, like turned on half of them and turned off half of them. And they literally showed them in a sequence. I don't know if you saw this picture, but they went from fat yellow to skinny brown, and in between they got thinner and with spotted coats along the way.
Crazy. Like yellow and brown spotted coats?
Yeah.
Weird.
It's that specific.
Yeah, and one of the ways that they have found that they can manipulate these, what is it, agouti?
Yeah, the agouti.
The agouti gene in these mice that I guess are bred specifically for this gene to be easily observed or something.
Yeah, manipulated too.
Is through diet.
Right.
So they've actually taken agouti gene mice mothers who are pregnant, fed them a bunch of B vitamins in their diet.
Yeah, and soy, right?
Yeah, soy is a really easy grab for B vitamins, I
Right.
believe, right? Fed these pregnant, big, fat, yellow, ugly mice B vitamins, and their kids came out that healthy, skinny, brown, right? They had identical moms with the same like agouti gene, same upbringing, same everything.
Right.
Just fed them the normal mouse diet without vitamin B, and they had the big, fat, yellow kids.
Right.
So diet is a really big factor in epigenetic changes. Like, let's think about this for a second, okay? What Chuck and I are talking about right now is that science has found evidence that you can change the genetics of your children by eating B vitamins or by being abused when you're pregnant.
Well, see, that's what gets me. Some of the diet like makes a little bit of sense, but the fact that an environmental stimulus placed on your mom or even your grandparents can affect your children or grandchildren, something you didn't even experience at all.
Right. It's kind of unfair. And actually, I have to tell you, the more I study this, the more worried I am for my own child or children.
Yeah.
Like, really. What they're finding is the decisions that you make, especially at a youngish age,
Right.
are going to affect several generations because what you're doing is adding methyl tags. What we're talking about is pretty much the definitive answer to the nature and nurture debate. And what we're finding is both. You have nature, which is your genes, and they're very much active, but you have nurture, which is the environment, whether it's diet, whether it's stress, whether it's lack of exercise. Your body responds to these changes by saying, okay, all right, well, then we need to, if you're going to lay around and be fat, then we have to deactivate this gene.
Who will punish your grandkids.
And your grandkids who are trying to be normal are going to be fat little kids that live, shortened lives.
Right.
And this is where it came from, right, Chuck? Wasn't there there was a study in Sweden that kind of broke this ground?
Yeah, didn't they find that it was a very isolated group of people in Sweden, and at the time they were very isolated, at least, where they couldn't get help from the outside world very, very readily. And I think they studied the famine, isn't that right?
Well, they
how the famine affected the generations afterward.
Well, they had like feast or famine. It was like an agricultural town, and they looked at these agricultural records that this town kept for some reason, like really detailed records throughout the 19th century. And some years there was nothing and people starved to death. The next year there was everything. And they found that the grandparents, the grandfathers, who feasted and starved within a year of one another,
Right.
their grandkids lived an average of 32 years shorter or less
Right.
than the grandkids of the same people who didn't have that kind of feast or famine experience.
Right.
In the same town.
Right.
With the same socioeconomic conditions.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's 3 generations right there, right?
Yeah. Did you hear about the Angelman syndrome and the Prader-Willi syndrome?
No, lay it on me.
I saw, actually it was a PBS documentary. It's called The Ghost in Your Genes. Did you watch that? Oh, dude. It's on YouTube. It's in 5 or 6 sections of 10 minutes apiece. It's a full show. Mm-hmm. Mind-blowing. They found that there's these 2 different syndromes, and I won't get too deep into what they are, but Angelman syndrome and Prader-Willi syndrome is what it's called. And they found...
That sounds Italian.
It's Prader-Willi.
Yeah.
Sorry. I dropped the ball there. Basically, what causes each of these is a missing piece of DNA, and it can cause 2 different disease. Well, they found it can cause these 2 different diseases that are completely unrelated, depending on which parent it came from.
Really?
Which missing part of the gene it came from. So basically, it's as if the gene knew where it was coming from, like gene imprinting. The gene had a memory that, it came from the father, so you're going to have Angelman syndrome, or it came from the mother, so you're going to have Prader-Willi.
Right, and this is a relatively recent discovery. We were talking about them looking at agricultural records of the 19th century in Sweden. That was a doctor named Dr. Lars Olof Bygren. But he was working in the mid-'80s, and he didn't really start to lay the foundation of epigenetic research until the mid to late 90s. So this is a very new field. But what they're finding, and what Chuck was just saying, is that your parents can pass on these epigenetic changes that happen within themselves, right? And your grandparents can too.
Right.
But this isn't supposed to happen. What happens when an egg and a sperm meet, right? And it's like, hey, here's my DNA, here's my DNA,
right.
And they get together. There is actually a process where these specialized cells go through and basically clean the DNA of methyl tags.
Right.
But they found that not all methyl tags get cleaned off.
Yeah.
So diet can affect certain genes. These methyl tags can be passed down. And with abuse as well. Have you heard about PTSD?
Yeah,
being passed down?
Yeah, they covered that in the in that special as well. They did a test with pregnant women who were in New York at the time of 9/11. Mm-hmm. Did you hear about this one?
Yeah, this is a really recent study, right?
Yeah, and they basically found that pregnant women that were pregnant at the time the towers came down,
right,
and experienced post-traumatic stress disorder, they found that their babies had lower levels of cortisol, just like their moms did, which helps you deal with stress, helps you how you deal with stress.
Right.
So these little babies basically inherited post-traumatic stress disorder from their mothers in the womb, in utero.
And cortisol, it's a hormone, and it would be produced by a gene or expressed by a gene.
Right.
And how much or how little is expressed depends on whether that gene is silenced, whether it's altered, and that alteration comes from methyl tags, which can be passed down. So PTSD can be passed down, right?
Yeah, and they're speculating now that, and this is obviously speculation because these kids are still young, but they're speculating that it's going to happen to their kids as well, and that's going to be the real gold nugget.
Right. They do go away eventually, they think.
Oh,
methyl
really?
tags. Well, they have in fruit flies. With fruit flies, it's 400 generations, but fruit flies have a generation every 5 minutes, you know? Right. And then I think with mice, it's 40 generations or something like that. And with humans, they expect it to be somewhere around 3, maybe a few more.
Oh, really?
And then, because what's happening is our bodies are responding to environmental cues to change, and then after those environmental cues go away, the body's like, oh, okay, well, we can go back to normal now and get rid of this methyl tag.
So we've got nutrition.
Right.
You are what you eat. You are what your parents ate. You are what your grandparents ate.
And then there's things like stress.
Yeah, which parenting.
Right. And yeah, I think they found with mice mothers that didn't nurture their kids, or nurse their kids.
Right.
Produce kids that were kind of jumpy, and I guess had the mice version of PTSD, and they theorized that the body had undergone an epigenetic change to prepare these mice for
a stressful
very
life.
stressful life where they need to be on guard. You know?
Exactly.
Which, if you think about it, Chuck, I wrote a blog post about this. It's possible what we call PTSD is an epigenetic change that says you live in an environment where you can't relax.
Right.
So we're going to make you jumpy. You're going to be edgy, and you're going to have flashbacks so that you're always, on point. And it's the result of an epigenetic change from a stressful event.
Yeah. And the same, I think you mentioned abuse earlier. They found that 1 out of every 5 suicide victims was a victim of child abuse as well.
Yeah.
So they're still kind of theorizing now, but they think there's a positive correlation there between, like you said, stressful upbringing and epigenetic change.
Right. So what else?
Are we going to talk about what could be good about this potentially?
Yes.
Because it could be really good. We're talking about, and it's still early going, we're talking about potentially curing things like Alzheimer's, cancer, mental disorders, multiple sclerosis, you name it. Thick-tonguedness.
Yeah.
Potentially being able to cure this because they found that it's really hard to fix like a cancer cell. And so what the doctors are thinking now is it's really hard to fix a cancer cell, but it's a whole lot easier to turn these epigenetic switches on and off, which may in turn help defeat cancer.
Right. Like you want to get a tumor suppressing gene going.
Yeah.
But you want to get a cellular growth gene turned down a little bit.
Right.
Like that, and that you just cured cancer.
Yeah. This one doctor put it like this. He said that it's almost like a diplomacy instead of a war. Like you'll go tell the cell, hey, you're a good human cell. You don't need to behave this way. You should not be behaving this way.
Yes. It's called azacitidine.
Looks good to me.
Azacitidine. It was originally marketed for something else entirely, probably Alzheimer's. Everything was. And then they come up with, they figure out that it's actually turning down these growth cells, or these growth genes, and they say, hey, how about we use this for leukemia?
Right.
Bada boom, bada bing, there you go.
Yeah, people are all of a sudden in remission where they hadn't been before.
Right.
So it's pretty startling.
Yeah. It's still in the early stages, though.
Right. The other thing, too, is you can it's easier to fix the epigenome. That's the good news as we move forward. It's also a lot easier to mess up your own epigenome.
Right.
Diet and smoking and things like that.
Yeah, there was the guy who was studying Sweden hooked up with a guy who proposed the entire field of epigenetics in 1996, and then they got together with another researcher who was running that. You remember the Farmington? Is it
Farmingham?
Farmingham?
Framingham.
That the Massachusetts study, the heart study.
Yeah, that's 40 years long or something.
Right. Remember Great Britain's version of it? It's like the Avon longitudinal study.
Yeah.
Okay. So this guy had a friend who had access to these files, and what they found was that 166 fathers in this study started smoking around age 11. And so they started looking at these guys and found that their kids were shorter and fatter and just generally unhealthier than other kids, even controlling for other factors as well. Wow. So smoking's a problem. Drugs are a problem. Cocaine-addicted mice pass memory problems on to 3 generations of their offspring.
Yeah, it said that cocaine especially triggers epigenetic changes that affect like hundreds of genes at the same time.
Yeah. It's just because memory is just such a complex process.
Yeah. So don't do cocaine.
No. And don't smoke. It's just a bad idea, especially at a young age. And, Chuck, there's a project underway. You'll remember the Human Genome Project, completed in March of 2000.
Yeah, which is now they're kind of like, pfft.
Exactly. There was did you read this Time article?
Nah.
At the end of it, the author is talking about the Epigenome Project.
That's the big daddy.
Right. And he was saying that the Human Epigenome Project is going to make the Human Genome Project look like the homework that 16th century school kids did on their abacuses. So think about this. What they found in the Human Genome Project is 27,000 genes that were mapped, right?
Right.
Just fiddling with these combinations increases the map that needs to be created exponentially, right? Like Domino's Pizza has 27 ingredients. They produces, really? They do. I went and counted. It produces 88 million different combinations from 27. Wow. Now imagine 27,000 ingredients. How many different combinations does that produce?
Sure.
This is the scope of the Human Epigenome Project that's underway now.
Wow. What about Pizza Hut with all their like stuffed crust and eat it backwards and the ingredients are underneath your pizza and
probably even more
stuff.
Yeah, but I think Domino's has more pizza because they've got like the Philly cheesesteak one, and they have like the cheeseburger, the bacon cheeseburger.
They just put a sandwich.
Really good.
Yeah, they do like the Reuben sandwich pizza.
That would be very good.
That would be good.
Yeah. So epigenetics is changing everything. I think at its core, it's going to point out that all of our understanding of medicine is just an odd way of describing an epigenetic change.
Yeah.
You know, like psychology, psychiatry.
Yeah.
I predict that our future and complete understanding of humanity is going to be a combination of sociology and epigenetics.
So we thought we were on to something with mirror neurons, but forget what we said. Not just kidding, actually.
Yeah, I think that you could probably explain that epigenetically and with sociology as well.
Have you heard of this guy, Dr. Bruce Lipton?
No.
He's got a documentary out called The Living Matrix, and at first I was reading him, I was like, wow, this guy's really onto something, but then I started reading other people saying, this guy's a quack.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's a big epigenetics guy, but he thinks that your brain can essentially change your genetic expression by manipulating the epigenome.
Like just concentrating?
He thinks the placebo effect could potentially be explained by this, and like spontaneous remission in cancer.
Spontaneous combustion.
Spontaneous remission, obviously, is when you go into remission with no known cause.
Right.
Not from any treatment.
Right.
And he says this is explained because you have a profound change in your perception of your life and what life is all about, and that can potentially alter the epigenome.
Well, you could also make a case that what this guy is talking about is decreasing stress, which stress just wreaks havoc on us.
Yeah, good point.
And could create methyl tags and alter gene expression. So maybe he's just using a quacky way of describing lowering your own stress levels by increasing self-confidence.
Yeah, it's interesting when you see these people, though, and you watch a YouTube video and you think, wow, my gosh, that's the secret to the future.
Right.
And then you see all these other people that go, that guy is such a quack.
Yeah, but at the same time, you could say, well, maybe those other people are unimaginative.
Yeah, good point.
Support for the show comes from Public, the investing platform for those who take it seriously. On Public, you can build a multi-asset portfolio of stocks, bonds, options, crypto, and now generated assets, which allow you to turn any idea into an investable index with AI. It all starts with your prompt, from renewable energy companies with high free cash flow to semiconductor suppliers growing revenue over 20% year over year. You can literally type any prompt and put the AI to work. It screens thousands of stocks, builds a one-of-a-kind index, and lets you backtest it against the S&P 500. Then, you can invest in a few clicks. Generated assets are like EFTs with infinite possibilities, completely customizable and based on your thesis, not someone else's. Go to public.com/podcast and earn an uncapped 1% bonus when you transfer your portfolio. That's public.com/podcast. Paid for by Public Investing. Brokerage services by Open to the Public Investing, Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services by Public Advisors LLC. SEC registered advisor. Generated assets is an interactive analysis tool. Output is for informational purposes only and is not investment recommendation or advice. Complete disclosures available at public.com/disclosures.
On eBay, every find has a story. Like if you're looking for a vintage band tee, not just a tee, the band tee from the last show your favorite band ever played. You wore it everywhere. Then your girlfriend started wearing it, which was cute until she dumped you and took it with her, which was not so cute.
Yeah, well, anyway, now you're on eBay. And there it is. Same tee from the same tour. Still living in your memory, rent-free forever.
See, the things you love have a way of finding their way back to you. But eBay isn't just for getting whatever your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend stole back, right?
No, it's also for that rare championship foul ball you caught, then heroically gave to the kid next to you. And where else are you going to find your first car? The one you wish you'd never sold, but now finally get the chance to take it back home. For good this time.
So shop eBay for millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
So if you want to learn more about epigenetics, I strongly recommend University of Utah's website. Have you been on it, Chuck?
Yeah, why didn't you recommend that to me?
Did you see it?
I don't think so.
I did.
This was like a month ago when we...
Yeah, you can turn up gene expression, turn it down. There's
Yeah.
a lot of foods that you should eat if you want to alter yourself epigenetically, especially
Right.
if you're pregnant.
Or go to YouTube and watch The Ghost in Your Genes from
Right.
PBS. It is literally mind-blowing. Well, not literally. People always say literally. It's figuratively
Your
mind-blowing.
mind just explodes. Talk about changing your genetic expression. And if you want to read some very beautiful prose on epigenetics, chock full of flight simulator references, read how epigenetics works by typing epigenetics in the handy search bar at howstuffworks.com, which means it's time for listener mail.
Yes, indeed, Josh. Josh, you remember Sarah, the amazing 11-year-old fan
She's not 11 anymore.
who captured our hearts when she first emailed early on in the days of podcasting?
Yes, I do. She was one of the first fans, actually.
Yeah. Sarah, the amazing 11-year-old fan, is now Sarah, the amazing 13-year-old fan.
Gosh.
I know.
I feel so old now.
We
We've
should-
been doing this a while.
Well, yeah, and we should keep, once a year, we should update people on Sarah's age. And then when she graduates, if we're still doing this in 5 years, when she graduates college, we should go high school.
Yeah.
We should go to her graduation or something.
We should give the commencement speech.
We should.
I call valedictorian.
Well, yeah, and the principal would be like, who are you guys?
Yeah.
Can we get security in here?
We'll say, I'm the valedictorian, he's the salutatorian. What do you mean?
So this comes from Sarah. She checks in with us from time to time, and she's still just as cute at 13. She's not all bratty now that she's a teenager. Hello to some of my favorite people. Today I earned some strange looks from people about my knowledge of Legos, or Lego bricks. I also tried making a sphere of Lego, but I couldn't figure it out. Also, today's my birthday. I'm really excited that I'm finally a teen. Yahoo! You remember what I asked for? And what she asked for, she's got a blog now. And she asked if one of us could comment on her blog. And I went to her blog and commented. And her blog is basically her and her little friend talking back and forth to each other about stuff.
How cute. Do they dot their eyes with hearts?
No, well, I don't think you can do that. But it is really, really cute. And I'm actually going to encourage people to go to her blog. I hope she gets mad traffic. And her blog, Josh, is sarahlovesaustraliancommercials.webs.com. And here's the clincher. It is SARAH.
There's no www, right?
No,
Okay.
and she misspells Australian.
All over the place.
All over her
Which makes
blog.
it even cuter.
She spells it AUSTRAILIAN.
So it's like Aus Trail Ian.
AIAN.
Right. So spell the whole URL.
http://SARAH/LOVES.webs.com. And I hope people go by there and check it out.
I hope so too.
So she turned 13. She says, by the way, can you please not tell Kristen, Molly, or Katie that I think you guys are better than them? I think that would be kind of like bragging.
It would be kind of
So-
like bragging, which is why we would never do it.
We would never tell them, and I'm sure they don't listen to our show, so they'll never know. And then she closes, and this is Emily just thought this is the cutest thing ever. Well, so long, farewell, our Alvider saying goodbye, adieu to you and you and you. And then in parentheses she says, in case you didn't know, that was from The Sound of Music.
Yeah.
So long, farewell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alvider
And
saying
that's
goodbye.
one of Emily's favorite. Well, you should sing the rest of it, too. Adieu to you and you and you. So, Sarah, happy birthday. You're awesome. You're a dedicated fan.
Clearly she is.
We just think you're super cool.
And good luck with the blog. If you do learn how to dot I's with the heart, we want to know, Sarah. Happy birthday to you. If you want to become a fan who's captured our hearts, send us something interesting. We want another super fan.
And be a cute little kid. Otherwise, you're not going to capture
That
our
helps
hearts.
as well. Broken English doesn't hurt, too.
True.
You can send an email to stuffpodcast@howstuffworks.com.
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit howstuffworks.com. Want more How Stuff Works? Check out our blogs on the howstuffworks.com homepage. Brought to you by the reinvented 2012 Camry. It's ready. Are you?
The NFL playoffs are here, and Wild Card Weekend, powered by Verizon, is in full swing.
Man, it all comes down to this.
The stakes are high, hopes are higher, and everything is on the line.
My goodness!
It's win or go home, and every moment counts on the road to Super Bowl 60.
It's a touchdown!
Wild Card Weekend, powered by Verizon. Through Monday. Visit watch.nfl.com for the full schedule.
There's no championship league for small business owners. But if there was, you'd be at the top of the standings. Because going pro with Lenovo Pro means you've got the winning formation. One-on-one advice, IT solutions, and customized hardware powered by Intel Core Ultra processors help you stay ahead of the competition. Business goes pro with Lenovo Pro. Sign up for free at lenovo.com/pro.
Lenovo. This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.